Welcome back, battlers, to episode 4 of our Cliffhanger Cup practice. In this episode, we're going up against Tampa's very own ACE Trainer LindenRyu. I'm going to open here with Venusaur. He opens with Bronzong. I'm immediately losing this matchup because that confusion damage will wreck, so I decide to swap out into Wigglytuff. Now, Wigglytuff is going up against Bronzong. This isn't a match that I played very much. I don't shield that Psyshock, and that's a critical mistake. It does a huge amount of damage to Wigglytuff, and I'm unable to get off the charge move. I do switch here into my Defense Deoxys, and he swaps into Swampert. This is a very interesting matchup because Defense Deoxys does do well against these Hydro Cannons. However, gosh, those Mud Shots just charge so quickly. It's really hard to overcome that Swampert spam. I'm going to go in here with the Psyshock to try to take down this Swampert, and I try to make the fast switch into Venusaur, but it doesn't work out for me. I have to shield this Hydro Cannon to keep my Defense Deoxys topped up. I do use a few Vine Whips to take down Swampert, but I switch lock myself against Noctowl. Noctowl is a very good general flyer if you're looking for something that's not Skarmory in the Cliffhanger Cup. As you know, it does carry Sky Attack and Nightshade. He does swap over here to the Bronzong. I decide to fire off the Frenzy Plant, and he does shield it. 2 Confusions bring down the Venusaur, though, and it is Defense Deoxys against the world. We're going to use a counter here. He does fire off the Psyshock. I'm trying to charge up for a move here, but he gets another Psyshock off on us. Or excuse me, this one's Bulldoze. It's not doing a ton of damage. I'm going to try to farm down this Bronzong. He was so close to a charge move. Guys, we're going to fire off the Thunderbolt here. We get the excellent every single bubble hit, and that Noctowl survives with 1 hit point. It has a charge move. Guys, this Nightshade is going to finish off our Deoxys, and Linden takes round 1 in a thriller. Jumping into round 2, I decide to open with Wigglytuff against Lantern. We saw this matchup sometimes in the Jungle Cup. It is very interesting. Wigglytuff does a ton of general damage, but we have to watch out for those Thunderbolts. I am going to decide to shield this first Thunderbolt, and we do. He's going to fire off a few more water guns, but we are slowly winning this match. I try to catch him with the Venusaur swap, but he brings out Bronzong. This is a match we saw in the round 1. I'm going to fire off the Frenzy Plants, though. We're going to put pressure on this Bronzong regardless of whether or not we'll win. We actually have an opportunity to undertap there, I believe, and we miss it. I'm thinking it over, and I decide to bring in Wigglytuff. I'm going to go for the Dazzling Gleam to try to bring down this Bronzong. Let's see what happens. He does decide to shield. I'm going to use a few more charms here, and I'm not going to burn another shield on Wigglytuff. We get him really low, however, he does drop our Wigglytuff. It's Defense Deoxys against Bronzong. In comes the Psyshock. I use a couple of counters, 3-4 counters. He's able to get to another move. Expecting the Bulldoze, I shield. It is the Bulldoze. He decides to bring in Clefable, and this is not good for me, guys. I'm going to fire off the Psyshock here to try to bring this match back, but I don't think we're going to do it. I fire off another Psyshock here, back to back. I'm expecting the shield, though, and we get it. I'm going to try to put a little more pressure on this Clefable, but he gets to the charge move, and that's GG's for round 2. Jumping right into round 3, I open with Golbat. He opens with Clefable. That's a good matchup for me, and he recognizes that immediately. He bails out into Lucario. Lucario is going to use the power-up punch here. It charges so fast. Lucario is so glassy, but it does so much damage. I'm going to fire off the Frenzy Plant here. I know Lucario cannot withstand the Frenzy Plant, so I need to continue to put that pressure on it. It does fire off another power-up punch here. I think I can survive the counter, so I decide to shield. We get to that Frenzy Plant, but Lucario gets to the move first, guys. So close. He's going to fire off that Power Punch, and this Lucario is juiced up. I'm going to bring in my Golbat here, use a few wing attacks. Expecting the Shadow Ball, I do decide to shield here. However, it is a Power Up Punch. A few more wing attacks, and we bring down that Lucario. He brings in the Bronzong, and I have to go for this Shadow Ball pressure. I think I can get to 2 Shadow Balls. I fire off 1, and I make the swap into Lantern. I have some energy with that Golbat in my back pocket. I'm going to keep that in mind. However, the Bronzong does have Bulldoze, and that hurts pretty badly. I'm going to fire off a Thunderbolt here against a Clefable, but overall, this is not looking good for me. I'm going to bring in my last Pokemon, the Golbat, use a few more attacks here to try to farm up some energy. I fire off the Poison Fang to finish Clefable. In comes Bronzong. Let's see what happens. Guys, we get to the Shadow Ball. Let's see if it's enough. That Bronzong survives. A few more wing attacks and 1 confusion brings us down. Linden takes that round in another thriller. I'm going to open this round with Defense Deoxys. In comes Clefable. It is using Charm, so I have to bail out of there. Again, we're seeing this Venusaur versus Bronzong matchup. I am going to fire off the Frenzy Plant here to put some pressure on it. Let's see if we can get to 1 more, and we can. Guys, Frenzy Plant round 2 is absorbed with the shield. I have Defense Deoxys and Golbat in the back. I can't send out the Golbat because it is a poison type and it will take super effective damage from the confusions. I do decide to shield that Bulldoze. I probably could have gone without the shield, and I'm going to put some pressure on Bronzong with the Psyshock, or Psycho Boost, excuse me. He's going to fire off the Bulldoze. It does a little bit of damage. I'm going to use a few more counters, and this Deoxys has energy. In comes Clefable, and I am going to bring in the Golbat, but now I'm switch locked. I have to get this Lucario out of the way. I do fire off the Poison Fang trying to get the shield bait, and it doesn't work. Guys, this Lucario is going to fire off a charge move. It's Power Up Punch. I'm going to resist that, so it's not a big deal to me. I'm going to go for the Poison Fang here again, trying to draw the shield bait from this Ace Trainer, and it doesn't work. Go for a third Poison Fang here to finish off Lucario, and he does not let it through. He's actually going to fire up a charge move, expecting the Shadow Ball. I do shield, but it's just Power Up Punch. He squeezes in another Power Up Punch to do more damage to our Golbat. I try to make the swap into Deoxys, but it doesn't quite work. We encounter a little bit of lag here. I'm trying to get to the Poison Fang though. I make the swap into Deoxys, and I fire off the Thunderbolt. We land the Thunderbolt. I'm trying to get to another move here, and we get the Psycho Boost. Let's see if it's enough. We're able to take down Clefable and win that round. Guys, going into this round, I'm going to open with Lantern. He opens with Bronzong. This is the last round. Let's see how it all goes down. I'm going to use a few water guns here. My switch tray is open, expecting the switch, and we get it into Swampert. However, I don't have a great counter, so I farm up a little more energy. He's going to fire off the Hydro Cannon here. I do decide to shield. I'm going to try to get here to a charge move, but this Swampert is so much energy already, it's going to be hard to overcome it. We can only take one Hydro Cannon. We cannot take a second one. I'm going to fire off the Shadow Ball here. He decides to shield. Recognizing that I didn't swap into a good counter, he does realize that he needs to keep this Swampert around. I think it over here for a couple of minutes. I am going to bring in my Lantern to to farm more energy and then make a fast swap into Deoxys. My Lantern's got a ton of energy. I do decide to shield this Hydro Cannon, and let's see how this match turns out. He brings in Clefable yet again. I am going to go here for a few counters to farm up energy, and I'm going to put the Psycho Boost pressure on this Clefable. We pressure it with one and then another back-to-back Psycho Boost. He decides to shield the second one. I'm trying to get to a third, but he gets to his charge move first. This is very interesting because we have that Lantern in the back. Clefable is out of energy. He does decide to bring in the Bronzong, and I have a Hydro Pump at the ready. We're able to bring down that Bronzong with some water guns, and this is it, guys. This is for all the Tostitos. In comes Clefable, and I'm going to try to get to this Thunderbolt, and we do. Linden, thank you so much for the battles. Fun as always. Can't wait to face you in the Sinister Cup and beyond. Guys, if you enjoyed this content, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you want more cliffhanger battles, and stay tuned for more.